one battle is to get rid of them, from your life. The other battle is to fight with your own self, that fake self that they have created out of you. Yeah, the battle between the fake and the authentic self. No, I'm not that, I'm this. I am Sarah, I'm not that version. That's not me. This is me. Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about, recognizing the subtle, tactics of narcissistic families. And it's all about gaslighting, different ways they gaslight you, different ways they distort your perception, different ways they confuse you and manipulate you. Yeah, so it's going to be a kind of gaslighting 101. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So let us briefly understand what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone, usually a parent or a caregiver or a partner, husband, wife, in a narcissistic family, tries to distort your sense of reality, memory, and in some ways your sanity. They distort all these areas inside of you, and it's not always yelling, and it's not always something dramatic. Yeah, it is very subtle, it is very coverted, and sometimes it's guised as love, care, and concern. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the most dangerous gaslighting is, in most of the cases, subtle, repetitive, and quiet. It sounds like, that never happened. You are too sensitive. You always make things about you. You always make it about you. It's always you. I mean, that's how, they gaslight you. They may even tell you that you remember it wrong. I'd never say that. Or, I was joking. Why are you taking it seriously? Can't you take a joke? Yeah. And, over a period of time, all this gaslighting, in a way leads to, self-doubt, chronic anxiety, and emotional paralysis. Yeah. You start wondering, maybe I was the problem. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe, I'm hypersensitive. Maybe, I am reacting too much. I need to be, a little considerate. I need to adjust. I'm overreacting. Yeah. My feelings, my emotion, my responses are not correct. I need to work on myself rather than, protecting myself, rather than calling out their bad behavior. I need to work on my own self. So gaslighting basically, destabilizes you. Gaslighting, confuses you. Gaslighting, distorts your reality, perception, memory, and sanity to a huge extent. Now, you must be wondering why, narcissistic families use gaslighting. Gaslighting in narcissistic family is a kind of a love language that narcissistic parents use. Narcissistic parents aren't interested in truth. I'm sure you guys must be aware of this. They are not interested in truth, reality. No. What they are interested in is control, emotional obedience, and image management. Yeah, so it's all about the facade, not how you are feeling on the inside or how they are making you feel. No, it's all about the image. It's all about blind devotion and obedience, and it's all about control. These are the things that they are interested in. They are not interested in knowing your truth. They are not interested in knowing your side of story. They are not interested in any of that. So gaslighting basically serves, a few core purposes in narcissistic families. Yeah. First is to maintain power dynamic. Yeah. And how do they do that? By making you doubt your own self. Yeah, by making you question your own sanity, by making you question your own feelings, your sanity, your own emotion, your own perception. Yeah, so that's how they maintain power dynamics. The other, core purpose, of gaslighting in narcissistic family is, to avoid accountability. Yeah, so they are going to make you believe that you are the problem so that you don't hold them accountable and responsible. Yeah, so they will tell you you are the problem and not us and not me. Yeah. So again, it's basically to avoid accountability and responsibility for whatever shit they are putting you through, or for whatever shit they are throwing at you. The other core purpose of gaslighting in narcissistic family is to, reinforce the golden child or scapegoat roles. Yeah. So if you challenge them, you are labeled as unstable or difficult, or if you obey them, you'll be given the title of the golden child. Yeah. So it's basically to reinforce, these labels. You are all the time, creating problem. You listen to me, who else do I have apart from you? Yeah. So it's basically to reinforce, these labels, whether it's the golden child label or the scapegoat role. Yeah. So it's basically to put you in that mold, it's basically to put you in that role, so that you don't, come out of that role. You keep performing, yeah, based on the, label that is assigned to you, whether it's scapegoat or, the golden child. And also in narcissistic families, these narcissistic parents, they use gaslighting as a kind of emotional anesthesia, and this is basically to numb your intuition and destroy your ability to trust your own self. I know you must be wondering, I mean, to what extent these narcissistic parents can go, and the answer is they can go to any extent. If you say no, if you reject, if you refuse, if you question, if you hold them accountable, they'll see you as a threat. And what needs to be done with threats? Threats needs to be eliminated. Yeah. So when you ask questions, say no, you're already causing them narcissistic injury, and then they start seeing you as red flag, then they start seeing you as threat, and they are going to do anything and everything in their capacity and power to, put you back in your place. Yeah. I mean, they are going to tell you, who the boss is. They are going to display their power. Yeah. And they are going to do all sorts of nasty things. They are going to coerce you. They are going to manipulate you. They are going to gaslight. I mean, gaslighting is like a love language. It's the language they communicate in. And that's how they destabilize their victims. And that's the reason, we remain on hook for long. That's the reason, we spend longer, period of time with them. We don't immediately leave them because it's so much of confusion and doubt, and in that process we start doubting our own selves. Yeah. So it becomes really difficult. So yes, I mean, another, purpose of gaslighting in narcissistic family is to, use gaslighting, as emotional anesthesia. Yeah. So that, you numb your intuition, you numb your feeling, and over a period of time, your ability to trust yourself gets eroded and destroyed. In some cases, it's a permanent damage. Yeah, the longer you spend time with them, the more damaged you are. Now, let us understand what are the subtle, gaslighting tactics, that exists in narcissistic families, or the subtle ways narcissistic parents, gaslight you. I mean, their children, their victim. The first way is by rewriting history. They are going to tell you, well, you were never mistreated. You had a wonderful childhood. No, no such thing happened. You had an amazing childhood. I mean, stop making up things. Stop cooking stories and, making things up. No, I'm telling you, I'm your mother. I'm your father. I have raised you. You had a perfect, normal, healthy, good, amazing childhood. Yeah, so what they are doing is they are actually rewriting history, and they are going to gaslight you by, of course, dismissing, and by minimizing your experience, and then they are going to rewrite history. They are going to keep repeating it again and again and again, and over a period of time it becomes reality. Everybody believes them rather than believing, your side of story, your version of story. The other, gaslighting tactics that these narcissistic parents use, on their children, on their victim, is triangulation. Yeah. So they are going to tell you, or you know tell you through someone. Either they are going to tell you directly, or they're going to pass across this message, through someone, that you are just being too dramatic, you're overreacting. Yeah. And by including a third person, if the matter is between you and your parent, They might, tell you also directly that, you're being too dramatic. When you are reacting your natural response, they are going to label it as too dramatic and oversensitive, and then they are going to include someone else also, and via that person they are going to pass across this message that no, such things never happened, he or she is too dramatic, they are ungrateful, they are just being too dramatic and oversensitive, no such thing happened. I mean, we had, the worst childhood. I mean, you guys still have, better childhood. We gave everything to you guys. So you are just being too dramatic. Yeah. Now, this is basically to destabilize you. It's not just between you and them. Yeah. One on one conversation. They bring in another person to destabilize you. And then, as a result of that, you begin to question your own self, because when others are involved, their opinion is also involved. Yeah. And then you start questioning your own, perception and reality. You start, questioning your own self. Am I overreacting? My auntie was also asking me the same question. Am I overreacting? So that's how they destabilize you. It's not just one on one. Of course, one on one is there. That's how they gaslight you. But then they bring in someone else also. And then they triangulate things. Yeah. So it's not just you and them. It's two of them or three of them and you. Yeah, that's how, they change the dynamic. Yeah, they keep you powerless and they remain in power by bringing another person along with them. Yeah, auntie comes into the scene, or the golden child comes into the scene, or your uncle or your enabling, parent comes into the scene, and then they all start pressurizing you, they all start gaslighting you. The other subtle gaslighting tactics that we get to see in narcissistic family is dismissal of your emotions. Yeah, so narcissistic parents are going to tell you, stop crying, why are you crying, why are you overreacting? I mean, it's not a big deal, so stop crying. I mean, there are, better things to do, and there are better things to, spend your energy on rather than crying. And this is basically to um train you to, you know suppress your response, suppress your emotional response, and not express it. In a healthy family, you are allowed to express yourself. In a healthy family, you are allowed to express your emotions. But in narcissistic family, your expression is like an inconvenience. It doesn't, fit their narrative. It doesn't suit, the facade. Yeah, if you are crying and if you are expressing your emotion, so they take away, that liberty and freedom from you, and they are going to gaslight you that stop crying, it's not a big deal. No, nothing, as such ever happened. You're just crying for no reason. Yeah, and because of this, I mean, when you are expressing yourself and somebody comes in, I mean, your caregiver, your primary caregiver, your parent, your father, your mother, your narcissistic parent, they come in and then they immediately, invalidate your emotional response. And what you learn with their response, the way how they are treating you when you are, emotionally responding and expressing, you learn that your emotional expression is an inconvenience and you should suppress. You should only express, things that are allowed. Otherwise, you should just suffer in silence and not express. Just swallow everything and just suffer in silence, suffer on the inside. Don't talk about it, don't express. Always smile and say, yes, mom, I'm good. Yes, daddy, I'm good. Mom, you're so amazing. Dad, you're so amazing. So, it's all about the image. It's not about how you are feeling on the inside. And when you grow up in such an environment, you carry a lot of burden and weight on your chest and shoulder, by not expressing, because you're not allowed. Every time you tried expressing, your emotions were dismissed and invalidated. Yeah, and with time you learned that, let me keep my mouth shut, let me not express, let me not even cry. Because if I'm going to cry, they are going to tell me, why are you crying? Stop crying. It's not a big deal. In healthy family, you are allowed to cry, you are allowed to express, and even parents, sit together with their children and talk things out. What happened? What's hurting? Why are you crying? I mean, can we work things out? I mean, did I say something that hurt you? Please tell me. This is how things are in healthy families, but in narcissistic families, it's all gaslighting. Rather than validating your emotion and feeling and your expression, they are going to gaslight you. Stop overreacting. This never happened. Stop crying. What nonsense is this? Go back to work. Go, to your room and start doing this and that. Yeah. So they invalidate your emotions. They dismiss your emotions. And this is again a kind of a subtle gaslighting, where your emotions are not validated. Instead, you're gaslit in return. The other subtle gaslighting tactics that we get to see in narcissistic family is blame shifting. Yeah. And this is basically to evade accountability and responsibility. So if you hold them accountable for something, they are not going to accept it. Instead, they are going to blame you, or they are going to, shift the blame onto someone else. Yeah. These narcissistic parents, they are going to, tell you, I wouldn't have had said that if, you didn't provoke me. So the entire problem is you and the others, and not the narcissistic parent. So if you hold them accountable, if you, ask them, or if you confront them, they are going to say, well, you pushed me and that's the reason I slapped you. Well, you pushed me, that's the reason I shamed you, I shouted at you. Yeah. So it's never about, them. It's always about you or some XYZ. Your auntie asked, so I got angry. Your daddy said this, so I got angry. Your teacher said so, that's the reason I was upset and I mistreated you. But it's not, them. They don't have, the audacity to take accountability and responsibility for their action and behavior. I have seen in healthy families also there are conflict, people do get angry. But in the end, parents, sit down with their children and they talk things out. I'm so sorry, I was a little stressed and I think I overstepped and I, did not treat you right. I'm sorry. Please tell me what you have to say. I have seen parents putting in all that labor and effort. Yeah, but in narcissistic homes, narcissistic families, it's all about you or someone else and never about them. They are perfect. They have reached the epitome of perfection and that's it. The other subtle gaslighting tactics that we get to see in narcissistic family is, spiritual and moral gaslighting. Yeah. And they are going to, gaslight you by telling you you are dishonoring your family by speaking like this. You're dishonoring your parent. Is this the way, how you should talk to your parent? You're dishonoring us. This is not how God, suggested us to speak to our parents. You are just defying all the good things, said by God. So and so scripture, so and so verse says that your eyes should be like this, and you should, talk in a better tone. You should not shout, and you should not look into your parents' eyes and talk. Yeah. So I have seen, these kind of shit exists in narcissistic families. They are big time into spiritual and moral gaslighting. Yeah. And then, they are going to try and scare you. They are going to tell you, well, God is watching, God is going to punish you. You have got no idea. So and so, person was punished badly by God because he or she, disrespected the parent. Parents are next God. So God sends parent. When he cannot come to earth, he sends parent, to do his work. Yeah, the sacred mission, the sacred work. And, all of it is basically to abuse you. All of it is basically to silence you and control you and manipulate you and exploit you and extort things out of you. That's it. These folks, these narcissistic parents, they are nowhere close to being spiritual or religious or moral. It's all fake. It's all facade. I mean, part of the facade. Yeah. So they will use anything and everything to control you and extort things out of you. It's not that they genuinely believe in these things. They don't. Yeah. They just cherry pick the verses, use religion, morality, spirituality to further perpetuate abuse, to further control you, gaslight you, and keep you confused. So these tactics are used not just to silence you, but to make you silence your own self. Yeah, that's what gaslighting does. And the end goal of gaslighting is, yes, you guessed it right, internalized self abandonment. Yes, that's the end goal. So that you start abandoning yourself and you start prioritizing them. You are never in touch with your own self. You never prioritize yourself. You betray your own needs. You betray your own self and keep serving them. This is the goal of gaslighting. That's how they distort your reality. They confuse you. They make you doubt your own feeling, emotion, and perception. And that's how they destabilize you. When you are destabilized, when you're not anchored, when you're not grounded, it's very easy to control you and, get you to do anything. Now you must be wondering how gaslighting affects, survivors, in the long run, in their adult life. Even after you go no contact with your narcissistic parent, the effect of gaslighting lingers for years. It's not that it fades away, you went no contact and boom, a new Sarah has emerged. A new Sam, a new Pretty, a new, Michael, a new Matthew has emerged after going no contact. No, it takes time. Gaslighting is something, I mean, the effect of gaslighting is something that lingers for years. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys must have, experienced these effects, when you are raised by narcissistic parents or when you have spent a lot of years with a narcissistic partner. Yeah, I mean, the effect of gaslighting is, chronic self-doubt. I mean, I was also battling, chronic self-doubt, but now with time I have overcome that. I don't doubt my own self, but earlier, yes, I used to. It, did require a lot of work, but I'm out, and it's not that I went no contact and then immediately I was very confident and, I had got rid of self-doubt. No, it takes time because the voices, they keep haunting you. Your nervous system keeps betraying you. Your body betrays you. So regular gaslighting literally splits you. Yeah, you and your fake self. Yeah, you and the other versions that was created solely to survive that toxic relationship. So, the first, effect of gaslighting is, this chronic self-doubt. Yeah, it remains. And, with therapy, with time, you can overcome. It's not that you can never overcome, self-doubt, but yes, it takes effort and it takes time. The other effect of, gaslighting is people-pleasing tendencies. And, I always tell my clients and even you guys, parent pleasers become people pleasers. Yeah, when they grow up, when they become adult, these parent pleasers, they become people pleasers. Yeah, so that is also, the effect of gaslighting. You are not good enough. No, 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 you're not thinking straight, you're not thinking right, what you're feeling is not right. And, as a result of which, you start doubting your own self, your own perception, your own feeling, your own emotional response and reaction. And you start tiptoeing, around such individuals. You get into this mode of pleasing them. Please tell me what I need to do. I'll try my level best. I will do anything and everything to please this person. I will do anything and everything to not hurt this person or disappoint this person. Yeah, so, the root of people pleasing is chronic gaslighting. When you are exposed to gaslighting on a regular basis, the other, effect of, gaslighting, if you are raised by narcissistic parents and, you are gaslit, uh, from childhood, and because of that, a lot of adults, I mean, all of them experience this emotional dysregulation. They are unable to regulate themselves. They are unable to express themselves in the right way. They are unable to process things. Yeah. So this emotional dysregulation is also, the result of, gaslighting on a regular basis when you are exposed to these things in your childhood. And because of emotional dysregulation, a lot of people, a lot of survivors resort to, unhealthy ways of numbing and coping. Addiction, binge eating, impulsive shopping, spending money, porn, a lot of things, people get into, to soothe themselves, to numb themselves, because you are never, taught healthy ways to regulate. You were never regulated. You never experienced co-regulation, with your parent. The parent was just there to hurt you, abuse you, gaslight you, and that's it. So, because of that, you don't know what emotional regulation is. Yeah, and because of that, you experience dysregulation. You are unable to express, you are unable to process, you are unable to do things in the right way. You just don't know the way because you were never handed those tools. Instead of that, you were just gaslit, abused, and manipulated. That's it. So emotional dysregulation is also, the result of gaslighting by your narcissistic parents. The other, effect of gaslighting that we get to see in these survivors, who've been raised by narcissistic parent is, they feel guilty while setting boundaries or while saying no. Yeah, because every time they tried setting boundary in the childhood, they were shamed, they were labeled as selfish, mean, ungrateful child. And as a result of which, they feel that setting boundary is a bad thing. Saying no is a bad thing. I'll be perceived as a bad person, horrible person. Yeah, because what mama told me, she might be right. Kids trust their parents. That's our default setting. And when it comes from, your parent, you tend to believe and buy that, even though it's bullshit, garbage, lie, and, not true. But as kids, we buy that. So mama said that I'm being very selfish by setting boundary. So a boundary is evil. Boundary is a bad thing. Saying no is a bad thing. Yeah. And because of that, these kids suffer in their adult life. They find it difficult to say no. They find it difficult, to set boundaries. They feel guilty. And they are like an open book, and other shitty people, come into their life and take advantage of them. Yeah, they extort things out of them. They hurt them. They abuse them, and these kids just suffer. Yeah, their suffering never really ends. Yeah, because they were groomed to suffer. They were not groomed to thrive and be a warrior. They were never groomed to be a successful person. They were groomed to be a cripple who, keeps running back to their narcissistic parent, their, ringleaders. That's it. The other effect of gaslighting that we get to see in these survivors, who are raised by narcissistic parent, is that these survivors, they believe that either they are too much or they are too sensitive. Yeah. So they don't feel that is their natural response. They withdraw themselves. They don't express themselves. Even if they feel a certain way, they don't express it because they fear being labeled as too much or too sensitive. So they, you know, don't express the way how they feel on the inside. They shapeshift, they mask, they fake it. Yeah, they respond, in a manner that doesn't, hurt or disappoint the other. Yeah, they tiptoe around everyone. They keep walking on eggshells. Yeah, it's like a part of who they are. Yeah, they are not, expressing themselves 100%. They tiptoe, they shapeshift, they lie, they mask, they say just limited things that doesn't hurt or offend the other. They hate disappointing others. And again, it's rooted in the childhood. Yeah, they were trained to never disappoint their narcissistic parent, never disappoint mommy and papa. And in their adult life, you know, that's who they are. I'll never disappoint you, even though you keep disappointing me, even though you keep abusing me and hurting me. I am never going to disappoint you. I'll be the bigger person. Yeah, these folks, they suffer from this, bigger person syndrome. They want to be the bigger person. No matter what you put them through, no matter how you treat them, they are like, it's okay, let me be the bigger person. It's okay. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight. Forget it. Forgive, forget, and move on. And these are the things that you get to hear from these survivors who are victims of narcissistic abuse at the hands of their narcissistic parent. Yeah. All that gaslighting, manipulation, does this to these, survivors. They want to be the bigger person. Rather than being selfish, they want to be generous, even though all that generosity and all that, being bigger person is eating them on the inside, ruining them financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, hardly matters. In the end, I don't want to be seen as too much or oversensitive or too sensitive. I want to be seen as someone who's kind, giving, and forgiving. That's it. So how do we heal from gaslighting? I mean, of course, you need to go no contact, you need to use boundary. But how do we heal from gaslighting? I mean, the way how we are responding, the way how we are behaving because of, extreme exposure to gaslighting in the childhood. The first way is by naming it. So once you identify gaslighting for what it is, the spell starts to break. Yeah, so name it. If they are trying to distort your reality and perception, name it. Stop gaslighting me. Yeah, by naming it, you are taking the power away. Earlier we didn't know what it was. Yeah, we started doubting our own selves, we were confused, but now we know. So when you see, witness, and experience gaslighting, name it and take the power away. Yeah, just name it, and that's, the best way. Stop gaslighting me. I will not buy that. Enough is enough. You can't keep gaslighting me. I know who I am, and I know my feeling, my emotion, my expression, everything is valid and normal. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong in, speaking about, how I feel. There's nothing wrong in expressing. There is nothing wrong in, feeling a certain way. Don't make me doubt my own self. You are gaslighting me. Yeah, so just name it, and trust me, it does the magic, it breaks the spell. The other thing that you can do is reality check with, safe people, healthy people, emotionally stable people. So yeah, people who actually, validate your experience are like lifeline. Yeah. It's not that you are imagining and it's all in your head. Yeah. So always have this reality check with safe people. If you're feeling a certain way, talk things out, take help of them, whether it's a therapist or a friend or whosoever. And trust me, then you will have a reality check that I'm not just imagining things, or I'm not just, delusional. It's a real thing that's happening with me, and I'm, not wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. They are the ones. Yeah, so you need to have such people, you need to have such community group, you need to have such friend circle, therapists, or loved ones around you who tell you that what you are going through is real. There's nothing wrong with you. They are wrong and not you. Yeah. The other way to heal from gaslighting is, by documenting your truth. Yeah, so write it down, record it, voice note, just record it, record conversations, keep a journal, and it is going to help you ground in reality. Yeah, it's not going to keep you confused or doubtful. At times what happens is, when you are with narcissistic individuals, or when you are raised by narcissists, upon confrontation, you run short of words, you forget things, you are like, I just don't remember anything. Yeah, and because of that, they keep winning, they keep projecting you as the bad one. Yeah, because they make you lose track of your thoughts, they make you forget about things. Yeah, and this is the result of gaslighting. So whenever you experience gaslighting or any form of abuse, document it, write it, voice note, video record it, or write it in your journal. Just write it down, so that when they are shape shifting, the narcissist shape shifts, and when they are gaslighting you, or when they are hoovering or love bombing you, you come back and see, you come back and reflect. This is how she treated, this is how he treated, this is what he said, this is what he did. Yeah, you come back and check, and then you are grounded to reality. Okay, that's superficial, that's just for some time to get me back, to reel me back. Yeah, otherwise they are this. Yeah, so record everything that you are experiencing and going through. The other way to heal from gaslighting is by building your self trust. Start asking yourself, what do I feel? What do I know? What do I need? Ask these questions, and trust me, if you sit in a quiet place and ask yourself these questions, you will get honest answers. Yeah. And it's your authentic self speaking to you. So ask these questions. Always seek your counsel and guidance. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gut. Never, ignore your heart, what your heart says. Never ignore what your gut says and feels. Don't ignore that. We are trained to ignore these faculties. But trust me, this is basically to destabilize us by not getting in touch with those faculties. So get in touch and listen to yourself. Listen to what your body is telling you. Listen to what your heart is telling you. Listen to what your gut is telling you or indicating, or listen to yourself. Don't silence those voices. Yeah, because those voices are there to help you and take you out of the mess. And the last way to heal from gaslighting is therapy or trauma informed coaching. So professionals are there, I mean, like myself, and we can help you unlearn the pattern and rebuild your sense of self. Yeah, so a little help and assistance goes a long way. Me being a coach and a therapist, I was in therapy at one point in my life, and I don't feel shy in sharing this. Still, I do meet my therapist, and at times we do talk and reflect, I mean, once in a month or maybe once in 2 months. So it's not that if I'm suffering only then I'll go to them. No, therapists do help you to reflect, do help you to see things the way it is. Yeah. And of course, when your therapist is trauma informed therapist or a coach, that's like a plus for you. Yeah. So it's not that when you are battling anxiety or depression, or you are having some kind of ups and downs, only then you are supposed to reach out to a therapist. No, you can reach out to your therapist and they can help you unlearn all of these patterns that you developed over a period of time when you were raised by your narcissistic parents. So they will help you unlearn. They will tell you what right and healthy looks like, and then they'll tell you simple and easy ways to inculcate the healthy and let go of the unhealthy things. Yeah. So being raised by narcissistic parent is of course horrible, but more than all those horrid experiences, it's damaging for your mind, body, and soul. You are damaged at every level. Now, I don't mean to say that the damage is permanent. I'm also a product of a narcissistic parent. But I want to tell you is that damaged people, like these narcissistic individuals, crazy individuals, lunatics, their goal is to create lunatic and damaged individual like themselves. Their goal is not to create healthy individuals. Becoming a healthy individual is going to be your own battle that you will have to fight and win. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be damaged. They don't raise healthy individuals. Which healthy parent keeps gaslighting their children? No one. Which healthy parent keeps abusing their children? No one. But in narcissistic homes, these are the love languages: abuse, manipulation, exploitation, gaslighting, triangulation, stonewalling. The list goes on. So when you are exposed to these things, I mean, how the hell do you expect yourself to be normal? I don't think so. Not that you are inherently flawed and you're damaged. No, I don't, say that. What I want to tell you is that if you don't work on yourself, you will become like them, or broken and shattered into million pieces. So you will have to, one battle is to fight them off your life, one battle is to get rid of them from your life, the other battle is to fight with your own self that fake self that they have created out of you. Yeah, the battle between the fake and the authentic self. No, I'm not that, I'm this. I am Sarah, I'm not that version. That's not me. This is me. I say no and I don't feel guilty. I use boundary. I, express myself, the way how I want. And I will not, walk on eggshells. Yeah. So that battle starts when you go no contact. Once you get rid of your narcissistic parents, you go no contact. The second phase is the battle with your own self, your own honest, authentic self. Yeah. And the battle is between the fake self and your real self. And trust me, you know, you will win. If you get into that mode, you are going to, come back victorious. You will win that battle. Yeah, because then everything is in your hand. There is no one around you who's gaslighting you and making you doubt and second guess your feelings, your emotion. So, it gets easy when you are alone and when you are fighting your battle with your own self, your fake self and your authentic self. It gets easy. But when you have, flying monkeys, other narcissistic individuals around you, they will never let you, get in touch with your authentic self or embrace your authentic self. So, you will have to do a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, if you think that you'll just go no contact and things will be fine, no. These narcissistic parents, they literally distort the way how you perceive things. They literally change you at a chemical level, at a, atomic level. These narcissistic parents, they are not healthy individuals. They are abusers and they really F you up. So don't think that once you leave them, you will walk out sane and healthy and okay. No, cycles will keep repeating. You will keep experiencing abuse from this corner, this person, that person. You will feel as if, your life is horrible. Everyone is just using you, disrespecting you, and you are never at peace. And that is where you need to, work on yourself. You need to get in touch with your own self and unlearn all of that BS that you believed to be true, while you were with your narcissistic parent, yeah, or growing up in such a household. So yes, I mean, these are, some of the ways with the help of which you can heal from the effects of gaslighting. And to tell you guys honestly, healing is an ongoing process. You can never completely heal. There are a lot of therapists out there on social media. I don't wish to take their name. They are great individuals doing amazing work, but I don't agree to, the things they say when it comes to healing, that, you can completely heal. I have not healed completely. I'm not the same. I have learned how to manage, but I have not healed. And I don't think I will ever heal. I'm saying this, at the age of 39, 40. And I think my stand will be the same when I'll be 50. You guys will hear. I can't. I won't be the same person. I have learned to manage. I do, go through my own, share of ups and downs. And I don't think, I can completely heal and become a new me. You know, things have changed. It's just that it's not controlling me anymore. But at times I still, find it difficult to trust people. At times I still, I'm afraid to lose people, even though I have got less people in my life, but I'm afraid to lose them. At times, I doubt my own self, even though there is no reason to doubt, but I still do. At times I feel that I don't deserve good things. I'm just telling you, these are the real things that every survivor battles. So, all these things, like, I mean, I'm no one to comment whether it is right or wrong, but I mean, shadow work, somatic work, and this and that. I personally feel CBT to an extent helps. EMDR also helps. Somatic, exercises helps to release the stored trauma. Talk therapy also helps. But all of this makes you aware. All of this educates you. It doesn't transform you into your default self. I don't think that is a possible thing. Yeah, so I mean, that is the point where I disagree with, a lot of the therapists that I come across on social media, that, you will heal, you'll become a new you. No. I mean, I'm telling you from my own experience, and, I have helped a lot of people, overcome, the toxic relationship. And trust me, none of them have completely healed. They have their own share of challenges. They are happy. They are moving on in life. They are doing really good. They are enjoying. But they are not 100% healed. They all tell me one thing, and that is, I mean, and that thing is, common amongst the survivors. We all have to wake up and keep pushing ourselves. We all have to keep motivating ourselves. We all have to consciously keep ourselves busy. We all have to engage in the things that makes us happy. Yeah, so you have to push yourself. I mean, it's not that you are crippled for life, but yes, I mean, in some ways you're not the same, and you're not your 100%. You learn to manage. You become better, definitely, but you don't really heal from narcissistic abuse, whether it's narcissistic abuse in narcissistic family, or a narcissistic marriage, narcissistic spouse. You will never be able to heal 100%. It changes you, at various levels. Yeah, so the only way forward is awareness, naming the things what you're experiencing, keeping yourself away from toxic people, and prioritizing your own self. I mean, if ever I get chance, I'll show you. I mean, there is a paper on which I have written a lot of things. Every morning I open that paper and I read it out loud to myself. Yeah, I'm perfectly safe, I'm fit and fine, I'm pretty, I'm knowledgeable, I'm good, I'm taken care of, I am loved. I need to tell myself these things. And I mean, if ever I don't get hold of that sheet, my day is a little bit effed up. Yeah, so I mean, I literally have to program myself. I literally have to push myself. Yeah, this is what healing is. Healing is not that, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. You won't. I mean, healing is where you'll have to keep working on yourself till your last breath. Keep upgrading yourself, keep unlearning things, and keep exploring, keep learning new things, and keep pushing yourself, keep motivating yourself. So that is what healing is. It's not that no contact, snip snip, a new me emerges. No. I mean, I don't buy that. People say a lot of weird things on social media, that you had a soul contract, it was your karma, your abuser came to teach you something. I don't think you learn any good thing from shitty people. It's just that you were dependent in some way or the other, and that's the reason the abuser took advantage of you. Otherwise, there is no cosmic thing, or no spiritual aspect to abuse, and being a victim, and these abusers. There's nothing spiritual. These abusers don't come from my past life. I mean, people say it's karma, it's your past life, that's why you are treated like this, that's why you have difficult father, difficult mother. A lot of bullshit is there, available on online. A lot of bullshit is there, online, that I get to see, and I feel like commenting on them, but then I resist, and I just stop myself, because it's basically to further misguide you. It's basically to further gaslight you, so that you remain in that toxic relationship, and you start making these stories to soothe yourself. My mama abused me because of her difficult backstory. My mama abused me because I abused her in the past life. That's how stupid it gets. Yeah, so I mean, if I'm being abused, let me keep my mouth shut. It's my past life. I was the abuser, and now I'm being abused. I'm paying for my past life deeds. How convenient. That's pure gaslighting. So just be practical, be rational, and don't buy all these things. Healing is painful, healing is possible, and healing isn't the way they are telling you. Healing is an ongoing process, and you'll have to keep working on yourself. That's what healing is. You have to keep pushing yourself, keep pushing yourself, keep pushing yourself. Yeah. So yes, this was it. In case if you'd like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.